Hello, everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we start, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Now, we had Deku and Marcy. These two, they were held up at the patrol station trying to figure things out. Right now, they locked themselves inside and made sure that no one can get in. There was a lot of wind being picked up, and the two, they looked over what remains of Tommy's Pip-Boy. They tried to see what audio logs were corrupted, and which ones were not. And after going through a lot of those logs, they believe they found where Tommy may have gotten to his home. I mean, there needs to be more data they have to certainly sift through, but it's a start. Deku, he was jumpy, he was worried and paranoid, and an idea was tossed around between the two of them. Radiation might not have been what caused Tommy's affliction. If possible, look at it from a different point of view. They don't know what was done to them, but when you stop and consider the fact that most mutated creatures out here are immune to radiation, if not thrive off of it, apply that to them. That should be the same premise. But what if that animal side of them is what thrives off of it, not the human side? I mean, after more consideration, Tommy was more bug than man. And when they had to put him down, they had no way of knowing exactly what was going through his head. He was a cannibal focusing on living to the next day. That was instinct. I mean, yes, he was still intelligent, but they don't know how much of that was just on autopilot and training. To them, those type of skills are almost second nature. And it has them both worried. They sat there, close together, and with empty bottles around them. Marcy covered them both in a blanket and fell asleep, her somewhat leaning against Izuku. And we do have Deku, who right now is not having a very good rest. His body feels heavy. His arms, they feel warm, hot, and he doesn't like it. And currently, he is trying to move. His body feeling paralyzed where he does lay. And a bright light, it is shining overhead before he does go to turn. Right now, his eyes staring and focusing on the one face he can see, the face of a stranger and a doctor, before they do go to bring down a drill and begin to talk about a few things. It rolling the left as Izuku, he does, so I'm going to move forwards. Currently, him going back to the real world as he does go to look around. Him panting a little heavily as Marcy, she does get somewhat stir. Her going to shift around a bit before still lying against the wall. And Izuku, he does just somewhat keep his breath under control. It was a nightmare. It was all a dream. That's all it was. It was just a bad dream. It's over. All those tests are over. Him trying to keep calm before going to someone turn, looking to see Marcy. Right now, her hair, it is a little messy. It's oily. And the brunette, she does somewhat sit there. Her ears being the only thing Deku can see, that do seem a little bit more peculiar. He tries not to stare, but it's really hard not to. I mean, they're very noticeable. Same thing with his horns. Okay. He's okay? Yeah, he's fine. He doesn't hear anything more outside. Him currently going to check the time, seeing that it is early in the morning. Right now, him gonna bring his left hand up and then go to grab onto Marcy. Him trying to carefully shake her awake. And whenever she is gonna start coming to, she's gonna turn her head. Right now, her going to lean off of Deku and the wall before asking about it. What's going on? It's morning. Come on. We need to go. Get to Prim and see what we can find. Best chances are early, right? You're right about that. Hergus won't stretch. Talking about it. They definitely do need to go. Is it secure out there? Is it safe to head out? Don't know. Been up for a little bit, but haven't gone out there yet. Give me a hand? Yeah, sure. The two going to stand up and begin to leave. And when they do get outside, there is they do go to look around. A lot of the sand is definitely shifted. I mean, all that wind must have been a dust storm? Maybe, but they'd rather not like to get caught in a tornado out here. Definitely seems like it might cause a lot of issues. Hmm. Alright, let's go. Her beginning to walk. Umizuku, he does it a follow. And they do to make their way somewhat silently to Prim. Neither one of them really talking about anything. The information last night, it's still on Izuku's mind, and it must still be on hers, distressing her or possibly annoying her. He doesn't know. But getting Radaway and Radex, it is on their shopping list, along with ammunition and food. And Izuku, he has been thinking about maybe getting some Calmex. You know, for the nerves. He knows that it will definitely help him. Maybe let him get his sleep again. I mean, the Psycho helped him before, but trying to rely too heavily on a combat stim is a bad idea. Using it sparingly, it should be what they use it for. They honestly thought that those might be the only ones left in the wasteland. Guess they were wrong. This is his mind. And currently, when they do go to roll up to Prim, they do go to see a lot. They do go to see the Bison Steve Casino, along with the roller coaster that has been long since decommissioned. And this does have them intrigued. Marcy popping some of the grape mentats. And right now, she does begin to feel her mind remember a little bit of things. I mean, passing through this town wasn't that eventful. They just got some stuff and left. But then she does get to remember. With Prim Slim here, it's more interesting. I mean, there's Nash. Johnson Nash? Huh. Maybe that's his name. Mr. Nash. That's the person she used to talk to. Them looking around. And Izuku does see a casino. Before turning and seeing the post office Marcy's begin making her way towards him, gonna follow, as the man at the counter does sit there. Currently a lot going through his mind. Him counting some ammunition that he does need to put up for sale. Making sure that he does have everything properly loaded and properly set. And currently he does a look up. Him seeing a familiar face, along with a new one. Him going to stand there. Before Marcy does step up and ask the man if they've gotten any business lately. Hmm? Can't say I have, young lady. Not since the last time you came through here with your other friend. So you do remember me? Of course I do. Not every day you see your particular sort. Okay, good. I had a question. Um, Me and my friend, we got separated. I just, a lot happened. I don't remember it too well, but do you remember if we said we were going somewhere? Any place at all? Just some information that could help us? Hmm, not really too sure. Though you are aware about what would happen if you followed the highway too much, right? Hmm? Um, I believe so. Could you give me a refresher? I thought you were aware of it. It's Quarry Junction. You'll meet a place. Go to it. Sloan. Go pretty far. It's just a few miles, I think. There's also a town up there. That way. I think when the highway splits again, you take the left and old place. Goodsprings? I know that there's a nice little place you can probably stay at. Really? Of course. Though, was that all you needed? For right now. Listen, you haven't seen my friend, have you? Glowing eyes. Well, you know, strange appearance like us. Hmm, can't say I have. Last time I saw her, she was with you. I'm gonna turn, asking Izuku exactly what him and the young lady are doing. Did they lose them? Or is this a personal matter, like last time? It's very personal. I see that. Though, don't ask. We can't really give you answers. I see. Just like I thought. You two usually kept to yourselves. How much do you remember? Her bringing her hand up, and giving the man a maybe by waving her hand a little bit. And this doesn't reassure him. The old man trying to put a few things together in his mind. And the information he gave them is all he's got. I mean, if they headed up to Goodsprings, then maybe ask around there, see what else they can find. That's his only real option other than Sloan. But if they go to Sloan, then be careful. The place might be infested with death claws. If they go to Goodsprings, well, he's fairly certain that they should be okay. Really? Yes, sir. Okay. Thanks. You you got any supplies? What you looking for? Radex, right away, Calmex, whiskey and ammo. Quite the shopping list. I think I should have some right away and Calmex, but Radex, I don't know. I had to look at their supply. I know a old friend came through recently and bought some. Give me a few minutes. Yeah, sure. The two walking over, going to sit down as Marcy. She is somewhat mumbling a little bit to herself, her hands up to her face, trying to think. And as good as a turn. Him being no witness, her, right now, looking a little out of it, but also a little psychotic. Currently, her with her hand right now in her mouth. And she does have her teeth on one of her fingers. Her somewhat biting at it to put the pieces together. And this has her annoyed. Okay. They headed somewhere, Goodsprings. That does ring a bell. So they did go there? A bar? No. They did go to a bar. There's a name in her head. What is it? No. That's multiple names. Okay. No. Old man, doctor. Uh, no. That Sunny something. Okay. She's definitely gotta look into this a little bit more. But there's a shop and a bar, a doctor. How would she know this information? Go to Goodsprings and head to Sloan first, or no, wait. She just confused herself for a second. Head to Sloan and Goodsprings next, or Goodsprings first and Sloan second. Okay, but that area of highway leading up the road, it's gonna be blocked. So that's a no-go. So they'll just have to move and turn. Uh, her bring up her Pip-Boy. Before Deku is to grab her by her arm, asking if she's willing to share anything. Her gonna bring her arm a little out and begin to express, showing the map they have. She has an idea. They can possibly cut through right here. I mean, it avoids the highway entirely, and it's just past Goodsprings. I mean, go up that road, leave, and then they should be fine. Right, but if there are death claws in that region, I'm sure we can ask the locals, see what they say, and see what we can find. If we can get past it, then we can head out. We've been trying to avoid the NCR, but maybe see if Chloe might have gotten into contact with them. There's no other real place I can think to look for information. Those mentats help with memories, right? They do a lot of things, but they do help make your memory better for a short time. What are you trying to do? I have this name stuck in my head. I've been thinking about it for a while. I think this one guy, he said it. I can ask a question, maybe, but Gamora. Gamora, it sticks out. Does it? It does. I don't know where I've heard that before, but I just know it sounds so familiar. I mean, it's a word I have in my head, if that makes sense. Okay, it could give us a lead. I think I've heard of a Gamora. Maybe. Are you sure? Right now, Mercy, I'm gonna pull out some mentats. Her holding a box up to Izuku, giving them a shake, talking about how after this one, they do need to be a little bit more careful. I mean, they just have one box left. and they're a little pricey. Oh, shit. Should we ask him if he has some? We should, but other than just the comics, what else should we buy? You don't think we should buy any, you know, psycho? Uh, we could, I guess, but if we're talking about good medical supplies, we might need a little bit more stim packs and medics. Those would probably be the most pressing. Right, right. No, you're right. Currently, the two try to talk out and plan their path. Head to Goodsprings and see what else they can find. See what else they can do. Maybe if they can stick around there and see if they can find her. It will be one of the safest places in the area for right now. However, Mr. Nash has come back with some of their supplies. He does talk about what he does have. Lucky for them, they are snagging some of the last bottles of comics he does have. He's got some Radaway too. Sadly, no Radex. And as for ammunition, well, he's had some people come through recently and buy, along with NCR soldiers. So it is a little, well, thin on pickings. So they can't really be too picky about what he has. And the two do understand. Izuku trying to talk to the man and figure out what they can do. He does appreciate the man's help. And while Marcy does sit there, she does go to look up. Mr. Nash charging them for to capture the ammunition, 7 packs of right away, and 5 bottles of Calmex. And Izuku, he is quite happy. Currently, him going to put some of the hollow points in his bag for his rifle, and putting the armor piercing in for his other rifle. Currently, Izuku going to look at the battle rifle before he does go to turn. Him looking at Mercy, who does his stand, and the two to make their way out and begin their journey down to Goodsprings, talking about a few things. About how right now it's going to be interesting. And Izuku, he does feel a little bit more talkative, trying to go over things in his mind and keep that focus. His mind feels sharper than a knife, a razor's edge. It's nice. He feels more alert than ever, smarter. But Gamora. Where'd you hear that name? Hmm? You're mumbling. Sorry. Um, give me a second. I remember it from the day we escaped. You know how I got that one card? Yeah, I do. Yeah, the guy was an asshole. He wanted to talk shit, and let's just say, pissed him off a little bit. Really? Yeah, he got a little too close. I got a little, let's just say, personal, and I grabbed from his pocket whenever he wasn't looking, though he had more pressing matters. Like, I tore off a side of his face. Actually, Gamora, he mentioned it, so it's a good place to head to. That is true. Plus, if we can find out what exactly it is, it could help us out. But are we sure we know where it's at? I don't know. Vegas, more than likely? I think I've heard something about Gamora, but I never really thought about it too much. Just thought it was one of those stray things that float around in my head. Really? It can happen a little bit. But Deku gonna turn, bring up the rifle, and seeing a giant gecko. Currently, it gonna make its way towards them for Marcy's turn. Her going to take aim and fire. Her going to miss before Izuku doesn't bring up his own rifle. Him going to fire the weapon and miss, firing again, hitting it, firing it and firing it and firing it. Him watching two more bullets rip into the gecko before Marcy does take a shot. It flying through the air and going to blow the head off of the damn creature. Before they get a turn. Currently, them seeing some of the creatures beginning to move in. And they do to take out some of these geckos on their way in to Goodsprings. Izuku going to pull back and reload. Him hearing the ping. And right now, he does a load in some ammunition before he does go to fall down to one knee. Currently, him going to aim up and then going to fire. Him watching what fly through the air and smash on the head of a gecko. It going to be sent flying into the ground and falling limp. Before he has a turn. Right now, him gonna pull the trigger as the weapon does get a jam. And there is Marcy, who does gonna fire out and smash into one of the other geckos. And it is right now in front of the two. Deku bring his hand back before he does go to thrust it out forwards. Him watching it fly out and smash into the gecko before sending it flying backwards. And the creature, it is not getting up. Deku going to stand there before he does bring up his left arm. Currently, him dropping the rifle and then going to throw his hand out forwards before he's a smash on the other gecko and then going to punch it to the ground. Before he has to get on top of it and bring his hand up, currently smashing in its skull before he has to stand there. And that it does give him a little bit more breathing room before he says stand. Right now, Izuku going to look around and see if there's any more threats, since he does feel a bit of that aggression currently coming through. The anger he still does have about what happened with Tommy. And this is where Marcy does stare at him. Deku currently seeing some more geckos in the distance. Before she's at turn, right now her reloading her weapon and seeing Izuku take off into a sprint. This being where she's a line one up on her sights and going to fire a shot. Her going to pull the trigger as the bullet is flying through the air. It going to hit the gecko before she's at turn. Right now her going to look at the gecko before seeing Deku, making his way towards them as he does begin to take them out. And she has to walk over. Currently, her taking what she can from the two on the ground. And then going to continue. Before we do have Izuku, who currently does sit there over a dead gecko. And he is a little annoyed. Her running up and asking if that makes him feel better. A little. Though, I'm just not doing good. I'm sure you're not. Listen, let's get to this Goodsprings place and figure this out, alright? Fine. Fine. But still, we need to find her, alright? I've got a lot on my mind. Things that need to happen. Right. No, I do get it. I've got a lot on my head, too. Currently, Deku taking one of the limbs from the gecko before he does get turned to her. Currently, with her hands a little bloody. Him asking if they are going to take any more. And she does get to at least somewhat talk about it. Take what he can carry. They might be able to cook it up in town. Or they might be able to find a campfire. Maybe on the road. This place is a little bit out of the way, though. It's far from Caesar's Legion and the NCR. Hopefully, this place is a ghost town. But she doesn't think that's the case. I mean, her mind's telling her a lot. They need to hurry. Currently, him turning. Marcy quickly beginning to move, throwing the sniper rifle over her shoulder. Izuku gonna stand up and follow, quickly making their way over to Goodsprings. And when she does get into town, running up that road, she does remember this place. It's fresh in her mind. I mean, there's the bar, the general store, houses, and some cattle. But their path, it flashing in her mind, before she's gonna follow the road up to the gas station and turn. Izuku quickly making his way up the road, and people do get to see this girl. Her with a strange appearance in a vault suit. Before up does come running a man. Right now, him going to watch her by the gas station, running up and following her down that road. And Marcy, she does have it in her mind. Right now, her moving a little faster as her mutations are beginning to show, feeling them beginning to manifest. And she does go further and further down into this little valley. Before she does get to see a Cassador, it gonna get its attention on her. And she does gonna watch as it does gonna turn and begin to fly towards her. Her quickly pulling a rifle and they're gonna fire. And there is Izuku, who does go to come running up. The Cassador flying towards her as it is shot directly in the side. Her watching where she has a reload. It right now 10 feet away from her as there is Izuku, who does go to step in front of her as it does come flying 5 feet in front of her. Her trying to fire another shot over Deku's shoulder. It hitting the Castor before it does go smashing into Deku. Him holding its limbs and trying to fight against it. Currently, him feeling a stinger go to hit him directly in the leg. And Izuku, he just won't scream. Right now, him smashing this thing to the ground and letting go of it. Before it does a smash down and then try to gain its bearing. Beginning to flip over and beginning to move its wings. Trying to get back up in the air. Him rushing forwards and bringing his hands down. Right now, smashing into the creature before another one does come flying up. Marcy turning to see it and gonna fire. Her being able to smash it in the side before quickly going to reload. It going to start flying towards Mizuzuku. He does use his claws to dispatch this Cassador, though he does feel that burning sensation in his leg. Currently, him hitting the ground and trying to at least breathe through this pain, this acid in his veins. And she does go to continue firing before looking down, seeing Deku on the ground and in pain. Though she doesn't look back up towards the Castor. It's moving forwards, she does step forwards, bringing her hand down and grabbing Deku's pistol. Her going to pull back the hammer and aim. Currently firing at this creature and watching it hit the ground. And this isn't too good. Her turning and making her way back to Deku. Ask him if he's okay. Leg on fire. Hurts. Fuck. Do you have any venom? Anti-venom. Shit. No. The town has it. I think. Just give me a stim pack. It hurts. My heart feels like it's burning. Her bending down before injecting him with a stim pack. And Izuku, he does sit there trying to breathe. He's in a lot of pain. And Marcy, she can tell. That was not good. And right now, she's at a turn, looking down the road and trying to see if there's anything else here, considering the fact that she might have to scream, if need be. And that it does have her worried. It could echo down this area, down this canyon. Though that's another concern. Her turning her head and seeing something in the sand. Before she could look around, walking over his Deku, he is trying to get his bearing and get on his feet. Though this wound of his in his leg that's healing, it still burns. And he does slowly get back up, currently limping a little, as he has a look up and see Marcy, who does sit there right now looking at something in her hand, before turning and seeing a tumbleweed that is still in the ground. Some sort of dead shrub, but it's got something on it, something quite noticeable. Her walking over and bringing her hand out, before she's a grab what appears to be a piece of clothing, a piece of a vault suit, something that got caught, or it just so happened to fall off. She's not too sure. I mean, this right now in her hand, it's blue and gold. It's a pretty decent sized piece. It covers 3 of her fingers and shit. This can't be good. Marcy getting concerned. Currently, her holding the weapon she found in the sand. A 10mm pistol. Chloe's pistol. And that, it has her highly worried. Before she has come walking back over and talking a little rapidly, pacing a little bit, and trying to get her bearing. I mean, they found Chloe's gun. She knows it's Chloe's gun. I mean, obviously it's Chloe's gun. It has the same mark on the bottom of it. Jesus Christ. The, they she's nearby, probably buried, dead. Food for those goddamn cadores. Her just highly panicking, concerned, and Deku, he does go to bring his hand out, currently grabbing onto her shoulder and spinning her back around to him, bring his other hand up and telling her feeling Deku's strength beginning to somewhat feel a little overpowering. Marcy, what? Listen, all right? You need to calm down. You need to focus and take a breath. We have Calmex. Take some if you need. Oh my God, your leg. How's your leg? I feel fine. The burning's a little gone. Not as bad. It still hurts. Are you sure you're okay? Do you need another stim pack? No. Actually, maybe. Him going to turn. And Chloe, it isn't too sure what happened to her, but they're both not sure. I mean, this valley is full of cadores? Great. Just great. So they're dealing with these things. They're dealing with it irking them, annoying them. What are they supposed to do if she's dead? It's just them out here? That's it? That's all they've got? And right now the two, they're both pissed. They do get to hear a sound. Currently, them turning their heads and looking up, seeing right now a vertibird in the distance, coming from the direction of Vegas. And the two they do both get a somewhat turn. Currently, Marcy, being to run her way back to Goodsprings, as Deku, he does follow her a little slowly. And this has them both concerned. If that's the Enclave, they're not ready to battle them. They've got power armor, and the fact is, they are not too well armed. Just stay on the low, stay on the down low, stay hidden. Shit, the blue suit, it's not gonna be very good. This is on Marcy's mind. Before there is Deku, who does go to turn and leap out. Currently, him being able to grab Marcy in his cloak and go smashing down into the sand. Currently, some of it being sent flying up as the two, they do begin to roll. Now, this, it does mean quite a bit, as the people in the vertibird, they thought that they were seeing something down below. I mean, down in the canyon it was hard to tell, but they could have swore they saw something, and they do begin to bring it down. Currently, them trying to get a better visual, as there is with a vertibird, it does begin to lower. And Izuku, he currently does lay on top of Marcy, her trying to tell him that they might be screwed. This isn't a good situation. And Izuku, he does somewhat sit there. Right now, him on top of her, as his head is currently on her shoulder, trying to talk about it. Just lie still. If they think it's just a corpse, they'll pass. That or just something in the sand. And currently, there is where a shot does ring out. And Izuku, he does begin to somewhat twitch. And she does somewhat lay there. Currently, her trying not to talk, trying not to move. Deku's body was already shaking from that cadore venom. And then there's that sound. Before there is, where you're going to hear the whirl of the vertibird engine. And another shot does get a ring out. Currently, it, from the pilot's perspective, being where the person behind them does talk about it. Nope, they're not seeing anything. They're seeing a little bit of blood, but possibly just a corpse. It's not worth investigating, though there's cadores nearby. Quite possible they got killed running. Huh. You sure? Negative. At the same time, though, this area doesn't match the description they were last seen. You sure? Affirmative. Last time they were spotted was in Westside. That was the only positive visual. Information said that they might have headed towards Novak, but as we've reported, nothing much is known. Really? Yes, sir. That would be all. Fine. Listen, go ahead and leave. We'll begin and continue further investigation. All right? Understood. The person turning. Right now, them gonna fire a third shot. Them just making sure it isn't moving. And the pilot doesn't yell out at the person for wasting another bullet. And the man does talk about it. He's bored. He just wants to shoot something. And at this point, he'll take any goddamn excuse. And the vertibird, it just doesn't swing. Right now, them beginning to make their way back up high and trying to not alert the locals in the area. Though, yeah, those people, they aren't too sure what to say about them. It might just be NCR calling in additional support from California, or it could be the Brotherhood. Who really knows? And the two, they do somewhat sit there waiting for some time. And Marcy, she just begins to feel something warm on her chest, on her torso. And Izuku, he still is shaking a little bit. Before the two, they do finally go to move. Currently, Izuku rolling over and going to lay there and feeling all this pain. Her asking if he's all right. Fine. Just let's get to Goodsprings, okay? No, no, seriously, you are not okay. Her stabbing a stim pack down into his leg. And Deku, he does this all at once for a second before he does let out a breath, showing off he does feel fine, though Marcy does a silent stare at his teeth, which did get a little bit more sharper. Her talking about it, helping him to his feet, and the two making their way back. Goodsprings is safe for the moment. They'll have to find a place to lay low here. Maybe that old gas station might be a good spot, though it's going to be concerning. Talk to the locals, let them know she's back and she doesn't want anybody to follow her. Not to tell anyone anything. They're just passing through. That's all. And right now, Deku, he is able to sit down. Him trying to sweat out the Cassador affliction, since it fucking hurt a lot. Now, there currently is Marcy, who does begin to ask around and see if Chloe might have come back, if Chloe could potentially be in one of these houses or here. It's an idea, a place for her to be, some place for her to fit in. And this is where we do cut over to Chloe. Right now, she does sit there in a bar, thinking about what to do. Her turning to one of her friends, talking about it, about the latest delivery they've made, and how things certainly have been good for them. And the person, they do just won't sit there, telling her about the next job they might have to do. The last job went off without a hitch. They got in and got out fine, though the next one may not be so easy. And she currently does get a turn. Right now, her standing up and waving off her friend. And the man, he is happy. Currently going to turn back and go to drink. His vest going to somewhat swing and lay there a little limp. And the insignia on his back, it is stamped proudly. The heritage of the great Khans. And what they are. And Chloe, she's a leaf. Currently heading back to pick up the next shipment she needs to take. And this, it does work swimmingly. Currently, her going to turn and move. Move with the sun. The day is coming to an end, and the night will be where she makes her move. Quick, clean, and undetected. A good little motto. A good way to make some caps and stay on the down low. People don't ask questions, she gives them what they want. It's how she likes it. How she's been able to maintain herself for right now. I mean, they all plan to head to Vegas, and getting those caps won't be easy. She'll find them there, maybe. I mean, she's heard rumors about something in West Side, but dropping everything to investigate it wasn't exactly easy. And one of her jobs before, yeah. I mean, dealing with the motor runner and that fucking mailman, Jesus. She doesn't want to get caught up in something like that again. Now, with that all being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.